Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another review for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 5. And Sasuke fans, this chapter is both a gift and a curse in that our boy Sasuke goes out in an epic way, but it's heartbreaking because the way in which he went out is sure to jerk a few tears out of people who watch Sasuke grow up all throughout his 36 years of life in the Naruto world. However, between that and all the plot twists that are in this chapter, there's a lot to unpack, so let's jump into the review itself. So we open up this chapter with a flashback on the night where Boruto and Sasuke were attacked by Code. Boruto is shown panting in exhaustion from the sword training that Sasuke has put him through, and after gauging the progress that Boruto's made for the day, Sasuke states that they'll rest for the night, and that's where we get a major bombshell. You can tell from Boruto's appearance where his hair is a lot longer and looks very similar to Minato's hair from the Minato one-shot manga chapter. You can tell that Boruto's grown taller and his hair is longer, and that a year has passed since Boruto's left the village. However, Sasuke tells Boruto that in just 1 year of training, Boruto has managed to master every jutsu possible for Sasuke to train him. When Boruto asks to learn more of the Uchiha style jutsu, basically the hidden jutsu of the Uchiha clan, which hidden jutsu are passed down within the members of the main branch and they don't require a Kekkei Genkai to use. So they can be used by people from outside the clan, like Boruto learning the Uchiha clan's main branch shuriken jutsu that Sasuke taught him in the Momoshiki arc, and Boruto perfected when he fought against Shojoji. Sasuke tells Boruto that he's reached his limit in what he can teach him. It's here that we see just how much Sasuke has been placed on a pedestal by Boruto, because he still thinks of him as this almighty hero who doesn't have any limitations, and the idea that there's nothing more that he can learn from him and that Boruto is actually stronger than Sasuke is something that Boruto can't bring himself to believe. Now, this really shouldn't shock you. Boruto right now is still naive despite everything he's gone through. When Daemon was doing all that trash talk in Boruto Naruto Next Generations, when they're shopping inside of Konoha, Boruto tells Daemon he wouldn't be talking so tough when he was fighting against Naruto and Sasuke, because the child in Boruto still viewed his father and his teacher as these almighty unstoppable heroes. Sasuke tells Boruto here he means everything that he's just told him, stressing that he isn't the type to make jokes. We then shift over to Sasuke revealing that despite his travels with Boruto, where they've grown noticeably closer since leaving the village, there are still things that he's still uncertain about, and it's a gut punch of a reminder that despite how much progress that Boruto's made, Sasuke's memory is still warped by the omnipotence, but he's continuing to trust in Boruto because of how strong of a reaction that Sarada had when she awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan in front of Sasuke, and how strongly she begged him to save Boruto. However, just as we start to see these tender, heartfelt moments between master and student, the two are suddenly on the run because Code has attacked with his Ten Tails army, and Sasuke lets it be known while Boruto might be much stronger than him, they are outnumbered and the enemy is too powerful, Boruto's too inexperienced, and they might not walk out of this alive. It's important to remember that right now this is a blind battle that is heavy with dramatic irony. So that means that we as the audience know that certain claw grimes have rinnegan eyes, and some of them are stronger than others, and they can all use Code's teleportation space-time jutsu, but Boruto and Sasuke, they don't know any of this information until they begin to trade blows, so it's just new thing after new thing. Basically, the enemy has the element of surprise, and they have a whole bunch of hacks abilities. When you're getting that much back-to-back, it's enough to throw you off your guard, and yet despite this, we still see master and student actually put up a very valiant fight. Sasuke has sustained very heavy damage, and he's managed to slice Code's eye in the process of the fight. Boruto and Sasuke, they are surrounded by claw grimes. With every direction they turn, the claw grimes on either side of them like wolves in a pack ready to pounce on their target. Sasuke at this point has gotten an accurate assessment of Code's combat ability, being able to confirm he is indeed stronger than Jigen but weaker than Ishiki. Yet despite having an enemy who can absorb ninjutsu, which means that Sasuke's entire ninja arsenal is on the table to be used, something that he didn't have that luxury when fighting Jigen and Ishiki, it's at this point that Sasuke makes a cold calculation. At the rate that the battle is progressing, the two of them will die, and that one of them must walk out of there alive. Sasuke tells Boruto he must run away and live at all costs. Boruto refuses to leave him alone, but Sasuke tells him he's entrusting Sarada to Boruto, and Sasuke then charges off into the battle, running the Chidori through his sword, battling against Code, who is leading that Ten Tails army, and Sasuke's doing it all alone, completely outnumbered and vastly overpowered, but vowing to buy time for Boruto Boruto to escape. And it's actually very similar to how Tobirama did a similar thing for Hiruzen. He named him the third Hokage, said take care of the village, take care of your teammates, but get them out of here, all while Tobirama was fighting against 20 S-rank shinobi, granted off screen, and they were led by Ginkaku and Kinkaku, the two pseudo Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Sasuke goes down in a very valiant fight, and unlike the Tobirama thing, we actually get to see some of the fight itself. So during this battle, despite Sasuke being alone, he somehow managed to cut down several of the claw grimes, cutting some of them clean in half and others cutting off multiple limbs. Boruto, hours later, has returned to the scene and he sees Sasuke holding his sword in his arm despite being turned into a tree, almost as if Sasuke was still trying to fight as he was being turned into the tree. And Boruto walks up to Sasuke and he removes his sword. Now this is really huge because there were still some people doubting if Boruto was even using Sasuke's sword, even though the anime character design sheet years ago told us that he was using Sasuke's sword. That's a primary source material, but people still doubted it. However, we now have confirmation. This is indeed Sasuke's sword. Boruto literally grabs it and places it in his sheath, and he tells Sasuke that he can count on Boruto to carry out his will and fulfill his promise to protect Sarada. Now, we then shift over to Konoha, where we see Konohamaru and the members of Team 10. They finally reach Moegi, who has been turned into a tree. She gave her life to save a family during that Ten Tails attack, and this leads to the group vowing to punish those who are responsible for Moegi's fate. And here, your heart really has to go out to Konohamaru for a bit. So he's really gone through it, and I'm not talking about him being trash. So in the last 3 years, he's basically been replaced as the sensei to his team Agani. His very first rival, Naruto, is dead according to the intel that he's been given. And now his childhood friend, his teammate, has been turned into a tree, and we as the audience know that she is one of the shinjuu who has a rinnegan. But that's not the most heartbreaking thing here. The shinjuu who looks like Moegi reveals that she wants to swallow every inch of Konohamaru whole and that her name is Matsuri. Her instincts and the instincts of all these shinjuu is to consume the people who they had connections with. For her, the person she wants to swallow up is Konohamaru. The one who's named Jura, the one who looks like Jigen, reveals that he wants to consume Naruto despite Naruto not being an Otsutsuki. The one who looks like Sasuke is called Hidari, which that name in of itself is another classic Masashi Kishimoto troll move because the name of this version of Sasuke literally translates into right arm, and Sasuke just happens to only have one arm. Guess which arm he doesn't have? Hidari reveals that it's his desire to want to consume Sarada, and this actually makes a ton of sense here. If you go back to Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage and the Scarlet Spring, Masashi Kishimoto wrote Sasuke and Sakura telling Sarada that no matter the distance or the circumstances, their family would always be connected on a deeper level, and Hidari isn't Sarada's biological father, but he is based off of the genetics of her father Sasuke, and based on what we've seen with Kashin Koji and Delta, two people who are genetic clones of Jiraiya and Akibi respectively, they are in possession of the memories and the instincts that belong to their original, even though they're on their own individual beings. These shinjuu, they're no different, which is really fascinating to see them converse about their true nature in the way that they're doing. Now, taking it a step further, chakra and memories is something we know that are connected. Naruto gave Boruto's chakra for the Rasengan to defeat Momoshiki, which resulted in Boruto getting the memories of Naruto's hardship. Naruto's connected chakra with all the Shinobi Alliance during the 4th Ninja War. Everyone saw his memories and his struggles and his hardships. The concept of chakra connecting others and running and working in ways that goes beyond conventional wisdom is still alive and well here. Now, what's really fascinating here is that Eida is watching this entire conversation play out, and for the first time that she's been introduced in this entire series, she genuinely looks scared. She looks afraid because she is the target of the shinjuu who looks like Bug, and it leads to Daemon freaking out because Eida's freaking out, and Eida drops the drink in her hand in response to this information, and it makes a lot of sense. You can pump all the ninja tech enhancements that you want into Eida. You can give her the strength of Superman and Goku and the powers of the one above all, and it does not matter. She's not skilled at fighting. Power means absolutely nothing if you don't have the skill to use it. Just like having a ton of skill means nothing if you don't have the power to back it up. Unlike her brother who wants to smoke with everyone, when it comes to fighting, Eida Eida don't want no smoke because this girl got asthma. When the smoke detector goes off, she's getting out of there. What's even crazier is that when she's using her rinnegan, the shinjuu who looks like Bug is aware of it, and you can tell that this has spooked Eida because this looks like the first time someone's actually watched her while she's watching them. And I love the fact that it's actually a shinjuu who looks like Bug who has this connection with Eida, simply for the fact that Bug, when you go back to when Eida was first getting released, he did not want her taken out. He did not like Eida, and he damn sure did not like Daemon. And it looks like Daemon is going to end up fighting the shinjuu who looks like Bug. Very nice to see how more of the seeds that were planted in Boruto Naruto Next Generation are finally starting to blossom here in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. We then shift over to Sumire speaking to Amado, and Amado reveals that he's always known that something was wrong when it came to Konoha. Basically, out of all the Konoha citizens who are inside of the village and affected by the omnipotence, Amado was the only one who had a working brain. If you'll recall, in chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we learned that at first people sensed that there's a paradox, that something wasn't right, things weren't lining up, but eventually the omnipotence overtook everyone's memories and nobody questioned things anymore. They just accepted that, hey, Kawaki is the biological son of Naruto. It does not matter that there are no photos of Kawaki as a child and all the photos are of Boruto as a child. It does not matter that Kawaki is a cyborg and Naruto's son was never a cyborg. They just randomly accepted it because that's how the omnipotence works. Well, Amado was just like Sasuke. He caught on to things right away, that things were not right, that they were going against his memory, and he realized his memory had been altered and that he could not trust his memory. In his mind, he experimented on Boruto when Boruto was a child. Yet when he looked at Kawaki, he could see clear as day that Kawaki had Amado's ninja tech because his signature was all over the ninja tech. The same thing with Kawaki's karma having the genetic data of Amado's daughter. His memory's telling him this should be Boruto, but his eyes are telling him it's Kawaki, and he knows not to trust his memory. What Amado is saying is no different than what I've said here on the channel numerous times since omnipotence has been explained. Scientists are no different than writers, and Amado was going to be one of the people who figured out the truth. Every scientist has their own signature when it comes to their research, their own methods and their own way of labeling their inventions. They always have something that identifies it as clear as day that it is their work. Amado's no different. With art, if you look at a Van Gogh piece, you know right away, if you know what to look for, you know the difference between a fake Van Gogh and a real Van Gogh piece of work. When you look at comics, you can tell when a story is written by Jonathan Hickman versus a story that has been written by Steve Ditko when it comes to Marvel Comics. It's the same thing with Kishimoto. He does small things in his writing that give him away because he has a unique way of writing that is unique to him, where there are hidden messages in the lettering to the way that characters and their behaviors and their powers and etc. are mixing in Asian folklore, culture, and religion. A perfect example being how Eida and Daemon are basically Amaterasu and Susanoo from Japanese Shinto. It's why J.K. Rowling got exposed twice when she tried writing under her pen name, because people such as myself who grew up on her writing can tell when she's written something. So the big reason here that all this is important to Amado is explaining all of this using cold hard logic. He looked at the facts and said, hey, that's my ninja tech, that's my daughter's data in there. I don't care what my memories are saying. This dude is lying. But Amado kept all this to himself and he's finally spilled the truth. And while this is going on, Sai is watching the entire conversation with Sumire and Amado, and he looks absolutely pissed at what it is he's heard. And he isn't the only one, because the 8th Hokage Shikamaru has now been made aware that after all of these years, Amado is still withholding information, even after Naruto and Shikamaru told him, stop holding back information. Even after Shikamaru confronted him saying, it feels like everything's been going exactly as you planned it. Shikamaru knows that if Amado is speaking this openly now, it's because Amado already has another backup plan or something else set in motion that he wants to work towards, which means that Shikamaru has threats inside of Konoha in the form of Amado and threats outside of Konoha in the form of code that he has to deal with. And this is where we shift to our final and our most important scene. Sumire tells Sarada the truth about Amado, and Sarada is initially skeptical about it, but Sarada remembers how her own father reacted to what she said when she awakened her Mangekyo Sharingan in Boruto Naruto Next Generations chapter 80, and she was telling him that he must save Boruto, that everyone's wrong, don't let them kill Boruto. Sasuke is Sarada's proof that there are those who, when they're affected by the omnipotence, they can still see past it when they know that something's wrong, and she's no longer fully questioning if Amado was telling Sumire the truth or not, because she has data based off of her own experiences. Unbeknownst to them, Boruto has now teleported back into Konoha. Some kind of way he's either already left a marker at their location, or as we discussed last month, he potentially placed a marker on Sarada, because Boruto states that Sasuke was able to trust him because even though he doubted his own memories and knew that his memories are altered, Sarada's passion and insistence that he trusts in Boruto made Sasuke do it, and Boruto says that because of Sarada's actions, Sasuke was able to ultimately save him. Now, he doesn't tell her right now, hey, your dad is a tree. That conversation's probably coming. This leads to Sarada running to jump into Boruto's arm, crying as she's hugging him, and Sarada has a pretty funny line I'll be interested to see if Viz Media keeps, but she calls him idiot Boruto and says that he's late, and Boruto hugs Sarada back, saying that he's here now and that's all that matters, all while Sumire is left standing watching the entire scene unfold. And that's going to bring me to my chapter question. Do you think this new information about Amado will make Shikamaru trust Boruto the way that Sarada told him that he needed to back in chapter 1? My second question is, how do you feel about Sasuke's sacrifice? Was it fitting for Sasuke to go out in this way, where he took out a bunch of those Ten Toes claw grind despite being outnumbered and despite fighting against Code? Would it have just been better to have killed Sasuke off just given the unbelievable circumstances he was in, or was it the best idea to just have him sealed away as a tree with a chance of being saved afterwards? While you think that over, click here to watch this Naruto Explain video.